That cheap bottle of acid hydrolyzed soy sauce in your pantry is not actually fermented. You likely use soy sauce every single week, but the savory kick you taste in a significant proportion of bottles globally is merely a cheap chemical illusion. Discover the crucial flavor compounds only slow fermentation, not chemical hydrolysis, can build. We analyze the complex science of real umami. You will learn why traditional methods take years to perfect. You will also learn how to spot the chemical shortcuts that cheat your palate and potentially your health. The single compound responsible for umami flavor was identified in ham, and it is not the chemical monster marketing has made it out to be. We will show you exactly where it comes from. Most commercial soy sauce is a chemical shortcut. It is made with harsh acid in just days. It is designed entirely to mimic the flavor complexity that takes true makers months or even years to build. That cheap bottle is built on deception. Real quality Japanese soy sauce is made using a traditional process called the Honjozo. This ancient technique relies entirely on natural microbial fermentation. The story of real soy sauce starts roughly during the Western Han Dynasty. Back then, people preserved soybeans in salt. The process was later perfected with this specific Honjozo method. True Honjozo requires only simple ingredients. You need soybeans, wheat, salt, and water. That is it. Simpler ingredients often mean a cleaner, more complex flavor profile. You get genuine depth, totally free of unnecessary artificial additives. The toasted wheat adds necessary sugar for the yeast to eat, but more importantly, the carbohydrates sourced from wheat provide the initial compounds needed for the Maillard reaction. This is the crucial browning chemistry that creates deep, caramelized flavors when exposed to heat and time. Without the wheat, you just get flat sweetness. The wheat builds the flavor foundation for everything that comes next. The true engine of the Honjozo process is Koji. This is a highly specialized fungus that starts the entire flavor transformation. The famous Kikamon brand even utilizes its own proprietary Aspergillus Koji mold. It is a specific species of the Aspergillus oryzae mold. The mold creates powerful enzymes that act exactly like tiny scissors. First, the proteases go to work. These enzymes cut up large soybean proteins into flavor-rich amino acids. Meanwhile, the amylases step in. They convert the complex starches from the wheat into simple sugars. These enzymes are like a tiny construction crew. They meticulously tear down a giant flavorless protein wall into small, incredibly flavor-rich bricks. This beautiful scientific process explains exactly where the famous savory taste originates. The amino acids left behind are the literal building blocks of umami. Once the Koji enzymes finish their initial breakdown, the mixture is combined with brine, salt water, to form the Moromi. This is a thick, brine-soaked fermentation slurry. It looks like a bubbling, breathing mud. The Moromi must age slowly. It sits in massive vats or wooden barrels for anywhere from 6 months up to years. During this long, slow aging period, unique yeasts take over the ecosystem. A highly specific yeast called Zygosaccharomyces ruzi begins a secondary fermentation. These yeasts create alcohol and highly aromatic esters. Esters are the complex chemical compounds that give the finished sauce its fruity, delicate, almost floral smell. Scientific analysis shows that traditional soy sauce contains over volatile aromatic compounds. That means hundreds of distinct flavor molecules evaporate easily and hit your nose the second you open the bottle. This massive chemical diversity is why traditional soy sauce tastes so much more complex than the quick chemical versions. Traditional soy sauce, even within years of production, is noted for keeping better aroma and umami. Real soy sauce is like a barrel-aged whiskey. The chemical shortcut is like a vodka made in a single day. The modern industrial shortcut completely skips the Koji and the Moromi aging process entirely to create cheap hydrolyzed vegetable protein. Instead of slow fermentation, manufacturers rely on acid hydrolyzation. They rapidly dissolve the raw soy protein using extremely high heat and strong chemicals. They literally boil the soybeans in hydrochloric acid. Chemical soy sauce is exactly like making a cake by blending the raw ingredients in a blast furnace instead of slow baking them. This violent process instantly creates pure glutamate. It mimics the basic savory taste, but it utterly lacks all the volatile aromatic complexity of a real ferment. As one Reddit user perfectly noted, hydrolyzed soy sauce equals chemical soy sauce, processed in 3 days with zero fermentation. Pros: cheap and cheerful price tag. It has powerful umami flavor. But because this quick chemical process fails to produce the right rich color and deep complexity, manufacturers must lie to your senses. They have to compensate. They pump the liquid full of artificial caramel coloring, corn syrup, and harsh lactic acid to hide its flat one-dimensional profile. If you look at the back of a bottle and see ingredients like vegetable protein or lactic acid, you are almost certainly buying a chemical cheat. Furthermore, there is a serious health consequence to choosing the 3-day chemical shortcut. The rapid high-temperature acid process risks generating trace contaminants. One specific contaminant is 3-MCPD. This chemical compound is linked to cancer in lab animals. Choosing the slow, traditional microbial method avoids this dangerous chemical byproduct entirely. Subscribe, please. Subscribe, please! While the chemical shortcuts yield a major flavor gap, traditional brewing yields brilliant, distinct varieties. The absolute standard is Koikuchi shoyu. This is the common, dark, all-purpose soy sauce you see in most authentic restaurants. It is so universally loved that it accounts for approximately half of Japanese soy sauce production today. This is the exact flavor profile you expect when you simply ask for soy sauce. It stands as the global benchmark for quality comparisons. When you measure a cheap acid hydrolyzed bottle against Koikuchi shoyu, the chemical version tastes instantly flat, metallic, and painfully salty. The traditional dark soy sauce balances that salt with subtle sweetness, deep roasted notes from the wheat, and hundreds of those delicate aromatic esters. Another specific, highly prized type of traditional soy sauce is tamari. Unlike the standard dark soy sauce, tamari is often made with little to absolutely no wheat and may result as a byproduct liquid drained from aging miso paste. Historically, it is collected as a deeply flavorful byproduct liquid. As heavy weights press down on aging miso paste, a dark, glistening liquid drains out. That precious liquid is tamari. If you are gluten sensitive, this is the traditional, naturally gluten-free option you should seek out. Because it relies heavily on soybeans rather than a soy-wheat split, it delivers an incredibly rich, concentrated savory note. It proves that natural fermentation can create massive depth without relying on added chemical flavorings or artificial colors. The complex savory depth in all real soy sauces comes from a specific sensation. This experience was formally identified by a brilliant Japanese chemist named Kikunai Ikeda. He noticed a shared, deeply savory dimension across many different global foods. Ikeda realized he successfully isolated the main compound responsible for this umami flavor. That compound is monosodium glutamate, MSG. But he did not build it in a lab. He found it naturally inside kombu dashi, seaweed stock. This proves that MSG is not a mysterious, dangerous chemical. It is a naturally occurring substance isolated directly from traditional foods. And here is the secret to ultimate flavor synergy. Umami perception is significantly enhanced by synergistic compounds called ribonucleotides, natural flavor amplifiers. These natural flavor enhancers, specifically guanylate, are found in foods like dried shiitake mushrooms. Combining meat and mushrooms is exactly like plugging two microphones into the same amplifier. You greatly amplify the savory intensity. You can the savory flavor of any dish instantly. All you have to do is combine the glutamate found in traditional soy sauce with the ribonucleotide flavor enhancers found in meat and dried mushrooms. Manufacturers hydrolyze soy proteins to mimic the deep umami complexity that only slow, multi-year fermentation builds. Next time you shop, choose the bottle that delivers time, not hydrochloric acid. If you like this, 13 superfoods backed by actual science, that's the next one.